So what happens now? A lot of people will be very interested in your findings.
Well, I can think of a half a dozen off the top of my head.
Where do we start?
Why not with the Quartermains? I mean, they've borne the brunt of this ordeal. I'll give them a call and tell them they're off the hook.
Yeah, but you know that Holt boy should be told about his mother.
You're right. Maybe I should start with him.
You know, there was a message on my desk that he called earlier. Why don't I call him and tell him that you want to see him?
Good. Meantime, I'll call the Quartermains and arrange to stop by.
Stop by? What's wrong with here?
We don't want to scare him to death. Listen, get Jimmy Lee here as soon as possible, will you?
Get right on it.
Thanks, Bert.
Hello?
Edward, Robert Scorpio here.
Oh, yes, Commissioner. What can I do for you?
Well, something's come up.
Oh?
I have an announcement to make concerning my investigation of Beatrice's murder.
Oh, I see. Would the Quartermains have something to do with that announcement?
I think you'll be very interested in what I have to say.
I guess I could rule out any kind of a hint.
I'll stop by around noon, if that's all right. And, by the way, could you arrange to have Alan and Monica there?
Oh, they'll drop everything, I'm sure.
Well, let's not hope it's a scalpel.
Little stab at humor, huh? Might that be an indication that the news is good?
There's always that possibility.
Well, noon it is, then.
Looking forward to it.
Not as much as I am. Goodbye, Commissioner.
I don't care how many times you explain it. It still doesn't make any sense.
I told you what I saw on that tape with my own 2 eyes.
Robert, it still doesn't explain it.
I disagree. I think it changes things drastically. Beatrice drank that medicine by mistake. It was an accident.
No way.
Jimmy Lee.
I'm not gonna believe it, any of it. I don't care how many times you tell me.
We're not going to prosecute.
So the Quartermains, they get off scot-free, is that it?
They didn't do anything.
Come on! They had the intent. They wanted her dead. Edward gave her drugs, and so did the others.
Those drugs had nothing to do with her death, and you know that.
It's a moral question.
Oh, look, I don't see it this...
Come on! They were harassing her. They hounded her. I mean, you know that as well as I do.
She reached for a glass of water. She couldn't have known. Nobody could have known.
Robert, she was upset. If she wouldn't have been upset, she would have known there was something in that glass.
The glass was clear.
I don't believe it, any of it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Edward confessed to it. Why didn't you just lock him up?
It's over, Jimmy Lee. There will be no arrests.
Fine. Then you just do me one favor.
What's that?
When you break the good news to the Quartermains, you tell them from me that they're not off the hook. Not by a long shot.
Jimmy Lee.
You just stay the hell out of my way.
Commissioner Scorpio's here to see you, all of you. He said you were expecting him.
Yes, won't you please come in, Robert?
I'm glad you could all make it.
I hope this isn't going to take long. I'm due back at the hospital.
Well, we both are.
This will only take a few minutes.
Well, if that is all, yes, you may go, Stella.
Please, Stella, I'd like you to stay. This concerns you as well.
As I understand it, I think it concerns all of us.
You can relax, Alan. As a matter of fact, you can all relax. My news is that you've all been cleared. I have proof that Beatrice's death was an accident.
An accident?
Are you really sure?
The night that she died, Stella here recalls seeing a bright light. It turns out to be a camera light. Now, Ginny Blake and I have been up all night going through videotape, and we finally found the piece that shows Beatrice taking Lila's medicine here by mistake. The whole thing was an unfortunate accident.
Oh, my goodness. To think of it, all that worry and accusing one another. Edward, I think you owe Stella an apology.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
Oh, that's not necessary, Mr.
Well,
Quartermain.
of course it is necessary, Stella. I behaved like a child. You have my most humble apologies.
Take the afternoon off, Stella.
I think that's a fine idea.
Stella, not until after lunch. Lila tells us that you have some fresh crab.
Will you join us, Robert?
Well, thank you anyway, but I must be going.
Hello, Commissioner. I figured you'd be sound asleep in bed at home by now.
Never underestimate the powers of adrenaline. What's your excuse?
I have been waiting for your call.
Well, you've got your green light, Lois. I've informed both the Quartermains and Jimmy Lee of the accidental death conclusion. So you're free to go ahead with your scoop.
best news I've had all day.
Best news the Quartermains have had all year.
Thanks a lot, Commish.
You earned it. See you in the morning news.
Right. Right.
So I take it the Quartermains were related.
I tell you, it added at least 8 years to Big Eddie's life.
Oh, really? You know, some people may hate you for that.
Yeah, but not Lila. You should have seen that smile on her face. It was like giving the both of them a whole new chance at life. Yeah,
Mr. Holt to see you, sir. He says it's important.
send him in. Something tells me this...
Got some unfinished business, Scorpio.
We do? I thought I told you the case...
Yeah, the little matter of the things that you found on my mother the night she died.
Well, I'm not sure.
Those things belong to me, and I want them.
Well, I'll see you get them.
When?
At the appropriate time.
You're stalling, Commissioner.
There's a lot of red tape, Jimmy Lee, and I can't do anything about that.
Look, you got till the end of the week. After that, you'll hear from my attorneys.
I'll see what I can do.
You do that. Gentlemen?
Well, Robert, I'll tell you something. That young man isn't going to be happy until he's burned the Quartermains right to the ground.
So what can I do? That Bible page is rightfully his now.
It's not the Bible page. I'm thinking about those blackmail photos. If those pictures get into the wrong hands, a lot of people are going to be very unhappy.
I know.